So, well, I'm sure every individual has his own story, naturally. So, I guess it was in the early 70s that I came to know about Hare Krishna people, because they were somewhat of a obvious sight in many of the streets. I'm from Canada, actually, so we had devotees in Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, which is on the eastern side, and the very first time I actually I had seen devotees before, but the very first time I spoke with a devotee, a live devotee, was in 1973, and he was a good book distributor, because he got me to take the Bhagavad Gita, and I had known already about the Bhagavad Gita, but I had not come in contact with Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita was especially attractive, with photos, etc. And he gave a, invitation card as well. I was, by that time, already finished with my studies. I had worked, and I was kind of, searching for meaning in life, as young people normally do. And so I took the opportunity to actually go and visit the temple on probably one of the first Sundays that after my encounter meeting, and that's when I had, of course, longer exchanges or conversations with devotees. I came in contact with, they had a small altar at that time at the Ottawa temple. Came in contact with the Sunday Feast program, which, as Prabhupada explains, was for most devotees in the Western countries, and it continues today, actually, because prasadam was, and will always be a major attraction for everyone. The tongue is the most difficult to so anyways, I very much liked the Sunday Feast program, especially two things. One was the philosophy, which to me was the first time I was hearing an expose, philosophical presentation, and there was reference to a book that I'd never heard about before. And that book was called, I had a hard time pronouncing it at the time, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam was like a revelation, big revelation, actually, to me, because it was like, coming in contact with standard books of knowledge. And now, even after 40 years, like we're giving a seminar this evening about these standard books of knowledge, because they contain unlimited knowledge, isn't it? Our Vedic literatures, etc., like that. So that opened the doors a lot, and I kept coming on Sunday programs throughout the whole summer, basically. And then by the end of that year, month of December in America is Christmas time. For the Christians, it's very important because everybody goes home for Christmas. There are nice songs and melodies, I'll be home for Christmas. People go home for Christmas because it's the natural thing to do. But that year I didn't go home for Christmas. That year I didn't go home for Christmas. I stayed in a Hare Krishna temple, and out of choice to have, living experience, and also it was the culmination of many thoughts and ideas and plans. And after staying for, I guess, a week until the end of December 73, then that's when I decided to actually become a full-time devotee. So that was how I came to Krishna Consciousness, and it's all Prabhupada's mercy, obviously, because everything, the books, those devotees are all existing, are all there because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So all the individuals who became initially disciples, and even now, actually, Prabhupada's mercy is continuing today. And it's like Prabhupada explains, maybe I'll just finish on this point here. Sometimes, actually, one devotee had asked, one disciple had asked, or had commented, Arjuna was so fortunate. Arjuna was so fortunate because he got to hear directly from Krishna. He got directly to hear from Krishna, to associate with Krishna. And Prabhupada makes the point, even today you can directly hear from Krishna just by hearing, the same words that Krishna told Arjuna. And the same effect, the same effect can also be there by taking to heart those messages given by the Lord, because they are eternal messages and they are full of potencies. So even though many of us did not initially meet, like, sometimes new devotees like you, or not only you, but new generation, they think that all of the Prabhupada disciples had extensive meetings and discussions with Srila Prabhupada. I never had any exchange, verbal exchange with Srila Prabhupada, and I'm not the only one. And of course, I suppose I would have liked to, but somehow I never got the opportunity. But still, I know one god sister of mine, she just mentioned this to me a few months back, that, Maharaj, I never saw Srila Prabhupada. So she became initiated, but she never physically saw Srila Prabhupada because Srila Prabhupada was traveling, although he was traveling extensively. I mean, there are many people, many disciples who did not get an opportunity to see him physically or to speak to him, but yet who are, still in the movement and who are, committed devotees. Because as we hear from the Bhagavatam, Vani is actually more important than Vapu. Vapu is, of course, not to minimize, but of the two, Prabhupada explains Vani is most important. So if we can capture the good instructions given by Guru, given by Krishna, and apply that in our lives, then our lives can become transformed, and we can get the same benefit that Arjuna received as well. Hare Krishna.